Alright, it's a few days past Powercruise, and I'm not burned out anymore. Ready to work on the car again. So, this is where we last left it. Hey, that's new. There's a lot of blade. And so, I might lower it back down and loosen these guys up too. That'd probably be a good idea. Wham! All four of them pulled out. So, yeah, those all suck. Oh. Did that pull out? The cup or just deboot? Debooted. Doesn't look like it pulled out of the cup. So I can put the boot back on and be in good shape. One bummer, it does look like my rear diff is leaking out of the front pinion seal. Pretty good. The only other thing, I gotta wire up my speedometer because I didn't have time for that. But the only other thing I'm working on is my shifter. So before, to get it really tight, I needed to throw a washer in so that this wouldn't slide all the way through the bracket I made. So the washer makes it stop up right at the end of the threads, and then the nut I'm using can actually tighten it down. And by doing that, it moved it over a lot farther over to this side. And so fourth gear was like over here in like passenger thigh kind of a thing. And so I had a couple ideas. Since I have a little bit of space under here, I'm gonna lower my shifter down 1/2 inch to 1 inch, probably just about 1/2 inch. But by putting the fulcrum lower, I won't have to move my shifter as far to do as much work at the actual shifter on the transmission. So to do that, I just use a hole saw, cut a hole in the plate that I'd made, and I'm gonna just wrap it, and then this will sit lower than the mounting point in the car. What that'll do, besides giving me a shorter shift, it'll also bring that shift rod down farther, and it'll clear some of the trim work a little better. Whew. It's hot, but I got my shifter finished. So yeah, it fits with the trim here now. I went ahead and put in this kind of bow underneath here. It lifted this up off of my airbag module. It centered it more in the trim piece. We got a little bit of binding right there. Just barely. But I have some rotational adjustment so I can so in all the way over to go into first, I still have a good 1/2 inch here, and so I can loosen that and slide it over 1/8 of an inch so I won't be hitting on this side. Takes some force to get it into gear. I'm okay with that. It definitely doesn't feel loose, which is good. So for this one, I was worried about how I was going to get a stud through here, and I ended up just kind of boring out the holes a little bit in a clockwise fashion. So they're a little oblong, but it made it so I could run a nut the whole way through this pipe that I used to weld on my caliper bracket, and I think that's going to work pretty well. So it's thread locked, I'm using nylon nuts, and I'm hoping that's going to be good enough. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a whole lot better than what I had before with just the welded studs. So we're in good shape there. So this one's ready to get put back together. The other side is on and ready to have the caliper go on. As you can see, it's all ready to go. I just need to torque my axle nuts, but I'm going to do that once I get the brakes on. But yeah, we're in pretty good shape. The only other thing I need to do before I can drive it is replace the pinion seal on the diff, because it just like puked all of the diff oil out on the ground, which is no bueno. So I need to replace that today, and I'm hoping that I can get enough leverage just underneath the car with a big breaker bar. We'll see. Fingers crossed on that one for sure. One, two, three. Got it marked so I can put it back on. That's a whole lot easier than I thought it would be. That's good. It's clean now, right?
That's right.
Nope.
Just let it rip. Well, now that's actually going to start a fire.
No, I'm going to take it out.
No.
We'll do it one more time, I bet.
Just keep going.
It's more that side. Shouldn't have any wiggle in the shifter.